Alright, so today you're going to learn how to hook up your PackTecher. First off, what you're going to do is you're going to take an extension cord right here below your control box and hook it up. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to take compressed dry air, hook it up right here to your air fitting. Once that's done, this is your air regulator, and you're going to adjust your air pressure to 100 psi. To do that, you're going to pull up on this tab right here until it makes that pop. You're going to twist it clockwise until the dial right here reads 100 psi. To lock it, you're simply just going to take this knob and push it back down. Now, after that, once it's all hooked up, what you're going to want to do is you're going to slide the end of your conveyor slide this onto the end of the conveyor of your machine, and make sure that the conveyor belt itself is higher than this shelf right here. That way none of your cans are going to tip whatsoever. Now we're going to show you how to mate your PackTech to your canning machine. The most important thing you want to do first is make sure that your canning machine is level, using all the leveler pads around. Next up, you're going to take your actual PackTech, make sure the leveling rods are up on this, and roll it over to your machine. There's a small groove under your PackTech right here that actually sits on this rail by the conveyor. And you're just going to want to roll that up until it is until it hits a little backstop and it does not move any farther back onto your canning machine. After you do that, you're going to want to make sure that your conveyor is nice and low or higher than your actual track itself. And you're going to want to use the leveling pads on the PackTech to actually raise it up and make sure that it is sturdy. So we're going to use a leveling gun just because it's a little bit quicker, but in your toolbox the adjustable wrench is perfectly suitable for that. And now, once again, you just want to make sure that your conveyor track is actually higher than the PackTech itself to ensure that cans don't tip. Now that you have your PackTech mounted, I'm going to show you how the forks work. The forks right here are what drop your PackTechers individually. So right now I just have two in here to show you how it works. I'm going to take it off of e-stop mode using the control panel, and it's going to catch the top PackTech, drop the one below it, and then keep these PackTechs from dropping so your cans can actually catch the one. What you're going to do is load your guide rails with your PackTechs right here, and now your PackTech is actually ready to run while being mated to your machine. While your PackTech is like this, it has a couple of sensors. There's a sensor right here at the end of the conveyor by your canning machine. What this does is it reads when a can comes and senses it, and it uses this air cylinder back here to actually push your can onto the PackTech itself. After two cans get pushed onto the PackTech, there's a sensor right here, and once this sensor reads that there are cans there, this H slide takes those cans and pushes them forward. The last sensor we have is a sensor on your PackTech slide right here. What that does is it reads if there is actually a PackTech in the slide or not. So if there's not a PackTech, that's when these forks are going to engage and disengage to drop a PackTech. And now currently, because there's a PackTech there, that sensor reads that, and no PackTechs actually get dropped. So now we're going to show you how PackTech runs while mated to your machine. I'm just going to put a few cans in here manually. And you're seeing those sensors read and fire as they should. Now, what could happen is if one of your cans tips while being pushed by this H slide, that could either show you that your track is not properly mated to the PackTech, which means that you're going to have to lower your PackTech just a bit, because if this is higher than the conveyor, your cans will catch. Another tip, if it does work, just a quick one, is to actually wet the track of your PackTech down a little bit, and then the cans actually slide easier on that. After that's all said and done, here's a successfully packaged 6-pack. So first off, you have to set up the height of your upper unit. So this whole part right here is called your upper unit. You can't slide under this, and that's where they catch the PackTechers. Right now, this unit's set up for 12-ounce cans. So what you're going to do is, when you're adjusting the height of this, it's about a 2 to 3 person job. So to adjust this whole upper unit, it has 4 parts where you're going to have to crack screws with a 5/32 Allen wrench. You're going to need about 1 or 2 people to hold this upper unit in place, while you have another person crack the screws and take a 12-ounce can and line it up perfectly to catch on the PackTechs. So what you're going to want to do is, you're going to want to come down right in here, right in this gap, and take a look at your cans. And you almost want to mimic a can hitting your the top of your can, a cap shedder. So you almost want to, if you can see right here, the PackTech is just barely catching the lip of the can. That's about at the height you want your PackTech to be at. Another thing you're going to want to make sure to do after that's all set, and make sure you tighten up these 4 points on the upper unit again, is you're going to want to adjust the height of this roller right here. So this roller has 4 different screws on each side, or 4 different nuts on each side. You're going to need a 3/4 wrench to adjust those. What you're going to want to do is, you're going to want to make sure that your can slide under there with just a couple millimeters, or almost even touching that roller. And what that's going to do is, when your PackTech slides down and your cans touch it, it's going to ensure that that PackTech rolls under and is press fitted on top of your can. It's going to make a nice snap, and you're going to know that it is engaged with your can top. Other than that, that is about it for the PackTech.